Hello everyone, today's video is about Maserati and how to spend little and earn a lot. Intriguing? Quite, because we're going to wash the radiators today. And here to spend, and here to earn. It's actually very simple. Washing radiators is not so expensive. Only 35,000 rubles, which is translated into euros 350 euros or $450. It all depends on which country you live in. But I think that prices abroad will certainly be much more impressive than in Russia. Nevertheless, we are here and we are working here. Let me show you how this process happens, but also how to make money here. But the thing is, it's summer now. This is a very, very dangerous time for cars. In the sense that if you already have a car with any mileage, everyone knows that there are a lot of poplars in Moscow. Poplar fluff clogs radiators very much. But plus, there is still a lot of dust. So, an overheated engine. Including on other cars, not only on Maserati, it carries, of course, huge financial costs. So, having spent 35,000 rubles on washing radiators, you will save at least $10,000 on a battery engine, on a Maserati like this, or from 29 to 35,000 euros for a new engine on the same Maserati. It all depends on income and desire, but in principle, I think it's better to keep an eye on your car sometimes. This will save you a lot of nerves and, of course, a lot of money. Accordingly, if you didn't spend the money, you basically earned it too. So now I'll show you what the radiator looks like on this car. To be honest, I haven't seen such a dirty car in the last year. Maybe this is good, but I just showed you the small radiators. This is for intercoolers, but as you can see, they are completely clogged with sand. But you don't see this often, but nevertheless, as you can see, it happens. To be honest, in dirtier regions, it's even scary to think what might happen to radiators like ours. But, you know, here again, everything depends on the frequency of these procedures. Therefore, I advise you to do this whole procedure at least once in a couple of seasons. Because this is not an advertisement for our work. Partly, of course, maybe that's how you can interpret this case. Nevertheless, everything is corny simple here. This is life. Unfortunately, we live where we live. Either, fortunately, but nevertheless, you can see how much dirt there is. But a little later, I'll show you what the new Maserati engine looks like. Well, you can calculate and decide for yourself whether this procedure is worth it or not. But now the most shocking content is the cooling radiator. Not only is it flowing, or rather it's probably already a lot, but also look at how much dirt there is in it. Honestly, but not so often, I repeat, there are such dirty cars. Looking ahead, I'll say that everything will be fine with him. But even in this situation, it's still, in general, content with a good ending. Because there have been sadder content, so it's still useful, in my opinion, information. Also write in the comments, maybe someone saw something scarier. If you suddenly have any photos left, you can attach them to the comments. But we can all watch it. But of course, we can discuss the whole matter. But how do you like this in general? How often do you think this occurs? I will tell you as the owner of a car service. Very often, and even in Moscow, we come across this. And it seems to me that Moscow is not the dirtiest city in Russia. But now the most interesting, but also the most expensive, is what the new Maserati Levante engine looks like. That's how beautiful he looks. Here the motor is basically complete. The only pity is that I have already thrown out the drawer. Everything was in such a beautiful wooden box with Maserati lettering. It looks beautiful, but expensive. If you buy an old engine, then it costs about $10,000 somewhere, and accordingly, it can be 9,000 euros. I just can't tell you what the cost will be at the moment, at the time of watching this video. Write in the comments how much the washing procedure costs, how expensive it is in your opinion, if you compare it with the cost of the engine. But we also forgot to calculate that this motor not only needs to be bought, but it will still need to be installed. But as a rule, there will still be a lot of liquids to change. It's not free either. So, in general, the mathematics seems clear to me here. But also, by the way, here is this video. It went very well at the time. Here, as you remember, we changed the engine. Why? Because the owner bought a Chinese oil filter. Because of him, I had to change this motor here. It was also a rather sad story, but those who watch my channel, I think everyone remembers just this Maserati. But for those who haven't seen it, look in the history. There's this video. I think it's also quite an interesting story because, well, as you know, there are problems with counterfeit spare parts in Russia, and now it's just starting to develop in full because cars are starting to suffer. It was unclear at the moment, people didn't know about it, but I always try to show it. Well, that's all for now. I went to work. Have a good viewing, everyone. Write in the comments. I liked it. I didn't like it. But maybe something in your opinion can be supplemented and added. I always try to listen to criticism. Therefore, write in the comments what else I did not specify here. But everything was fine with this car in the end. Therefore, I believe that we have done our job well and correctly. Good viewing for everyone so far.